It's a hot night in Boston, but a beautiful night at Fenway Park for Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Cleveland Indians and the Boston Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. It's always fun when somebody makes their Major League debut. Well, this guy's got that out of the way, but tonight gets his first Major League start. That's Matt Barnes.
Yeah, Matt Barnes tonight getting his first Major League start, as you mentioned, Don. And, of course, he's no stranger to the Boston Red Sox. You can see the numbers with the Red Sox working out of the bullpen. A 3-2 record with a 5.64. But it starts with Pawtucket 0-1, 4.95. And, of course, a starting pitcher is what he wants to be, and I think what the Red Sox eventually want him to be. So I imagine he's a little bit nervous tonight making his first Major League start. And coming out of the bullpen, he basically used 2 pitches. He's going to need more than that as a starting pitcher. Generally, starting pitchers have 3 pitches. They can get through the lineup 3 or 4 times, and that's what he's going to need to be successful tonight against the Cleveland Indians.
Well, the Cleveland Indians are here. That means Terry Francona is in town. So is Brad Mills. It's the Indians and the Red Sox. We're back with more right after this. Experience the new Audi A3 today. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals by Toyota.com. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of your Boston Red Sox. The Kia Sorento. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Welcome back to Fenway Park. It's Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, the Red Sox, about 6 weeks left to go during the regular season. We're going to get a chance to see what the Red Sox have in the system, and we've seen a pretty good outfield lately for the Red Sox. Hanley Ramirez returns tonight, as Garen Austin explains.
Thanks, Don. Hanley Ramirez is back in the lineup, and while it's good that he's back and feeling better and ready to play, this is a challenge for interim manager Torey Lovello, who now is an extra player to work into the rotation.
We have 4 guys that can play 3 positions, and we're going to juggle it and make sure that nobody misses out on consistent playing time. The dog days are upon us. We're going to be able to schedule some guys for some well-needed rest and off days. But the bottom line is we want all 4 of those guys to play and contribute at this point.
Matt Barnes getting ready for his first Major League start as the Red Sox take on the Cleveland Indians. The first pitch is coming your way next. New England Ford dealers. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. The Scion TC. And by Uno's, committed to the craft of pizza since 1943. Welcome back to Fenway Park as we get ready for the first of three between the Red Sox and the Indians, as another warm night here at Fenway Park. Red Sox fresh off taking 2 out of 3 from the Seattle Mariners in town this weekend, and the Tribe now here for the next 3. Well, Terry Francona's in town, and of course he is reunited once again with his former pitching coach John Farrell, who right now is going, of course, through cancer treatments. It'll begin tomorrow, and Terry Francona will be a part of that tomorrow. He had some things to say about his friend John Farrell before the ball game earlier today.
For 4 years, I got to stand next to him, and he's like a pillar. I mean, I know he's big and strong, but that's what he stands for, too. And so through a lot of thick and thin, when you get to stand next to him, it's a very comfortable feeling because of what he stands for and what he believes in and how he carries himself, and that'll never go away.
Now, Terry Francona here alongside his friend and coming in town. Of course, he only visited the year for the Indians, so kind of just worked out that way for him to be reunited with John Farrell here at this time. Amazing how it has worked out for him to be in town this week as the chemo begins tomorrow. So the Red Sox and Indians here tonight playing baseball with Torey Lovullo as the man tonight, again, as the interim manager for the Red Sox. And Jerry, it seems like he's sort of settling into that role right now, getting used to it after a long weekend of baseball.
Yeah, I think so. It's also a shock for him, obviously, to go from a bench coach to the manager. And, of course, the weekend was one for him to remember, that's for sure. As you can see, the series against the Mariners, the Red Sox sitting .441 as a club, 45 runs, 60 hits in the series, and 27 of those extra base hits, 9 home runs. And, you know, you really don't manage a lot when there's that many runs scoring, but he had to manage a little bit yesterday for sure. And it's anxious. It's going to be anxious moments because you're not the lead man. You know, you're usually a guy that's giving suggestions. All of a sudden, it's your decision on things that have to be done. And, you know, so far he's handled the media very well in the press conferences he's had prior to ball games. So, you know, let's see how he handles the ball club.
Well, the Red Sox have taken the field tonight, so let's check out the visiting Cleveland Indians lineup. It's brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Jose Ramirez leading it off at second base with Francisco Lindor at shortstop. Michael Brantley is the DH batting third. Carlos Santana in the cleanup spot at first base with Abraham Almonte in center field. Yan Gomes does the catching and bats sixth. Lonnie Chisenhall in right field. Jerry Sands is in left field batting eighth, and the former Red Sox infielder Mike Aviles is at third base and batting ninth. The Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. Matt Barnes on the mound for his 22nd appearance. This is his first start. 3-2 with a 5.64 earned run average. 22 strikeouts to 8 walks, and opponent sitting at 343 against Barnes. This year in 16 games, 5 starts, 1-1 with the Pawtucket Red Sox, a 4.17 earned run average, and opponents in the International League hitting at 252 against Barnes.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and they are 11th in the American League with 68 errors in 117 games. Pablo Sandoval back at third base, Xander Bogaerts the shortstop, Brock Holt at second, and Travis Shaw, the first baseman, left to right. Hanley Ramirez also back in the lineup, Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley Jr., and Ryan Hannigan doing the catching for Matt Barnes.
Well, tonight's umpires are brought to you by Buick. Experience a new Buick lineup during this year's Sign and Drive. See your local Buick dealer today. Well, the umpires have Mike Winters behind the dish. He is the crew chief with Mike Muchlinski at first base. Mark Wagner at second base, and Marty Foster is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Well, very warm conditions again tonight. 89 degrees here at the ballpark. Breeze left to right at 10 miles per hour. And the forecast partly cloudy. Plenty of blue skies above Fenway Park as we get it started. We talked about Torey Lovullo moving from the bullpen to the interim bench coach position is Dana Levangie, who has been in several capacities with the Red Sox over the years. First time I met Dana, he was catching for the Pawtucket Red Sox as a catcher in the Red Sox system, but he has been a coach on the staff for a long time now. Of course, was an advanced scout at one point for the Red Sox, and now he will be Torey Lovullo's bench coach for the remainder of the year. Now here is Jose Ramirez to lead it off for the Cleveland Indians, and the first pitch of the ball game will miss outside for ball one.
Ramirez with very good speed, and you can see Pablo Sandoval at third base in very, very tight, expecting a possible bunt.
Two and 0 now to Ramirez. Well, the Cleveland Indians certainly have not done what they expected to do this year. They find themselves 16.5 games back of the Royals in the AL Central. And apparently a little bit high that time, 3-0. So for Terry Francona's squad coming in there in last place in the AL Central, the Royals just running away with that division. Cleveland at 54-62. That is in there for a strike, and it's 3-1.
That'll be interesting to see the difference between Barnes coming out of the bullpen and then a starting rotation now for the Red Sox, at least making this start for the Red Sox.
And he walks the leadoff hitter here in the first inning. That was part of the changes for the Red Sox. Bob Kipper, who has been in the minor league system for a long time for the Red Sox, moving up the chain to the big leagues as the interim bullpen coach for Boston. Here comes Francisco Lindor, the shortstop. 292, 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. First time the Red Sox have seen the Indians this season. And on the grass at third is Sandoval.
It really is kind of hard to believe we're at the middle part of August, and it's the first time that we have seen the Cleveland Indians so far this season, and we finished the season in Cleveland against the Indians.
On the first and kind of stumbling back to the bag is Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez with 8 steals on the season. He's been caught twice.
Taken off at first, pitch is low. The throw is going to be a little high, but a stolen base for Ramirez in the scoring position.
That's the advantage they have with him as a leadoff man. I mean, he's not maintaining a high batting average, but when he does get on base, he has this incredible base stealing ability. The rush right there by Hannigan, and throw's going to be a little high, and no problem with the head first slide by Ramirez to pick up a stolen base. So very quickly, Indians have a man in scoring position.
Barnes falling behind here 1-0 to Lindor. And he bunts at it, but fouls it back to the screen.
That's one thing the Indians do a lot. They lead the American League in sacrifice attempts. And right there you could see Lindor trying to get Ramirez to third base.
Now charging in from the corners, and he gets the bunt down. Sandoval, a little trouble getting it out of the glove, and the throw will clank off the glove of Shaw. So first and third now, nobody out.
Very good bunt down the third base line. That's where you want to bunt it, to open up third base. It certainly does that, and you can see Brock Holt covering first base. The ball just drops out of his glove. A very tough play for Sandoval because it was a perfect bunt. You know, for a sacrifice, that was almost like bunting for a base hit.
So first and third, nobody out. And it brings up Michael Brantley, hitting out of the 3 spot at 312 with 8 homers and 63 runs batted in. They're charged to Holt, to drop the baseball at first base on the play. So a sacrifice and an error on the play. Throw to first, and back easily is Lindor.
Yeah, Lindor with 3 steals on the season. He's been caught 1 time.
Runner goes at first, and the throw this time by Hannigan's going to be close. And they got him. Looked like the tag may have been near the helmet. They're able to get Lindor this time.
Now the Indians trying to be very, very aggressive. Francona right now, maybe he's got to take a look at this on replay. Very quick release by Hannigan behind home plate, and you could see the fake bunt by Brantley. The fake bunt is designed to try to keep the catcher back a little bit longer. Looks like the tag did get there before the hand got in. Let's take another look. Yes, it did.
So no challenge here from the Indians.
Runner at third base had nowhere to go. He was not thinking about the double steal. They were going straight out steal at second base. I was always taught when it was a guy running like that and you fake a bunt, that's trying to keep the catcher back a little bit, but also try to bring that back right back in the eyes of the catcher so he can't see the baseball.
On the ground to first base as Shaw's coming home with it, and the tag applied for the out by Hannigan. Nice play. Saw him coming, had a chance to come homeward, and they're able to throw out Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, very good heads-up play there by Travis Shaw. I didn't think they were going to even be concerned about the man trying to score from third base. But Travis Shaw, the ball was hit so hard, he knew he had a chance. He took a peek up, saw that Ramirez was not close to home yet, and is able to make that throw, and Hannigan coming across home plate to make the tag. So they eliminate the leadoff hitter walking and stealing a base.
So 2 down, Brantley at first base. Good size lead there, held on by Shaw. They go into the shift here on Carlos Santana. Runner takes off for second. Hannigan throwing down, and safe at second base is Brantley. The running Indians tonight.
Now, Brantley's a guy that can run. I mean, now he's got 13 steals on the season, caught one time. And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of the very slow move to home plate by Matt Barnes. And they get guys that can run. They know they can get a good jump, so they're going to take chances.
Lovello out right now, seeing if he's going to challenge this, standing outside the dugout. Hannigan thought he had him. And apparently Torrey getting the word that they are not going to challenge. So back to the dugout he goes.
You can't bring him in, you bum. Basehead brings him in, you bitch.
In the dirt and corralled by Hannigan. No advance for Brantley at second base.
See the curveball mixed in that time by Barnes. Missing down and in, and Hannigan able to make the catch on it on a ball that is in the dirt.
The Indians are 7th in the American League in stolen bases, 61 on the year, entering the game tonight. A lot of running here in the first inning so far. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Early on, it appeared the Red Sox did not want to change the role of Barnes. They wanted him coming out of the pen, and somewhere along the line that philosophy changed, and back into the rotation he goes now as a starter.
Yeah, I felt that they needed, or they felt they needed more strength out of the bullpen, and I think that's one of the reasons, obviously, that he was called up many times this year to pitch out of the bullpen. But long term, I think they envision him as a starting pitcher, and that's why he started at Pawtucket.
Now Hannigan going out to talk to Barnes. Barnes, a native of Bethel, Connecticut, out of the University of Connecticut. Unanimous Big East Pitcher of the Year as a junior in 2011. Now the 8th pitcher from Connecticut to start a game for the Red Sox. And the first to start a game for the Red Sox from Connecticut since 1995 when Brian Looney started here for Boston. 2-1. And that is going to miss. 3-1. Carlos Santana at first base, another Connecticut guy, and John McDonald, Providence College standout. Swing and a miss, full count.
A good pitch right there. 3-1 count. Did not give in with the fastball. Goes to the curveball and gets the swing and miss by Santana.
You are pathetic, Carlos.
Abraham Almonte waiting on deck as the Indians bat here in the top of the first inning. A off pitch. And Santana takes strike three. Got the arms out of the way, but the fastball gets him looking. Red Sox are coming up. Well, welcome to your first game. Nice night for a baseball game here at Fenway Park. The Indians do not score in the first as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Well, the Indians starting pitcher presented by New England Nissan dealers. On the mound tonight for the Tribe is Danny Salazar. 22nd appearance, 10-6 with a 3.26 ERA. 151 strikeouts and 132 and 2/3 innings. Opponent sitting at 212 against Salazar. Ready to deal with Mookie Betts, who leads it off. And Betts will take a look at ball one up high. Last time out, a win on Wednesday against the Yankees. 7 1/3, only 1 run. Walked 5, though. Did strike out 8. As Betts takes a look at a strike.
First time that Salazar has ever faced the Red Sox. The only batter he's faced in the lineup tonight is Sandoval.
The 25-year-old right-hander. Check swing by Betts. Back to the screen, 1-2.
A lively fastball there at 95 miles an hour.
Dominican Republic native. He's now made 52 career starts in an Indians uniform. Third Indians pitcher in franchise history to record a strikeout in each of his first 51 games. Look at what he's got. 70% fastballs this year. That's a lot.
Yeah, and so far all fastballs to Mookie Betts.
Swing and a miss, and Betts down on strikes. Let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Mookie Betts in center field with Brock Holt at second base. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop with David Ortiz, the DH. Hanley Ramirez back in the lineup and in left field with Pablo Sandoval at third base batting 6th. Travis Shaw at first base. Ryan Hannigan does the catching and bats 8th. And Jackie Bradley Jr. in right field batting 9th. One down here in the first inning for Brock Holt. .286 with 2 homers and 34 runs batted in. Slices it foul off to the left.
Rockhold right now on a 4-game hitting streak, 10 for his last 20.
What a good series against the Mariners. A lot of Red Sox with good offensive numbers against Seattle over the weekend. Nubs it foul and is down 1-2. Sits safely in each of his 7 career games against the Indians. Brock always enjoy hitting here at Fenway Park. 16 for his last 41 at home, hitting at .390 at home here at Fenway. Rising fastball at 96 miles an hour. Popped up foul off to the left, out of play.
A changeup that time at 84 miles an hour away from Brock Holt, and he fouls off to give himself another chance.
Take the family to Fenway one last time before the summer is over with the Red Sox end of summer family pack through Sunday. This package includes game tickets, free parking, a free duck boat ride to and from Fenway Park, and a free hot dog and Coke. It's a great deal for the whole family. In the air to left field, sending Sands back right in front of the warning track. He'll make the catch to retire Brock Holt.
The Indians defense is brought to you by DraftKings. They are 5th in the league, 61 errors on the season. Micah Vilas will be at third base. Francisco Lindor, the shortstop. Jose Ramirez at second. Carlos Santana, the first baseman. Left to right, Jerry Sands, Abraham Almonte, and Lonnie Chisenhall. And Yan Gomes doing the catching for Salazar.
2 down here in the first inning, and it brings up Xander Bogaerts. Xander coming in, hitting at .316 to begin the night. 4 homers and 59 runs batted in. He is 5th now in the American League in batting average. Bat breaks as the ball goes foul. It's kind of sliced one side of the bat.
And so far, we've seen the fastball, the slider, the last pitch, a slider there to Bogaerts, and also the changeup from Salazar. Actually, that looked like a split-fingered fastball that time, the way the grip was on the baseball.
On the ground to shortstop, Lindor. Throws out Bogaerts, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Salazar. Done with 1, no score from Fenway. August 27th is movie night at Fenway Park, featuring a screening of Fever Pitch. Tickets are just $10 for adults, $5 for children 12 and under. Visit redsox.com/movie night to reserve your tickets now. A fun night to be in the bleachers here at Fenway Park as we roll into the second inning. Abraham Almonte leading it off, center fielder. 286 with 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. Thought about it, but takes it for a strike, and it evens in 1-1. All right, from the Padres at the trade deadline for Mark Zepchinski, the left-handed reliever. And he hits one well to right field. Jackie Bradley Jr. going back, and he'll make the catch shy of the track. It spun around and comes back to make the grab without a problem for the first out here of the second inning.
Yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. getting the start in right field tonight as he tracks this one. Never takes his eye off the baseball, and back almost to the warning track to make the catch on this. Boy, talk about watching it right in your glove. That was a great example of that.
One down here in the second inning for Yan Gomes, the catcher for Cleveland. 233, 7 homers, and 28 runs batted in for Gomes. Actually drafted by the Red Sox in the 39th round, but didn't sign, as Alex Spear of the Boston Globe reminds us. Last year, Gomes joining Carlos Santana, Victor Martinez, Sandy Alomar, and John Romano. It's only Indians catchers to catch at least 60% of the games. 20 home runs, 60 RBIs. Pretty good year put together last year. This year, 7 homers and 28 runs batted in. There's Lonnie Chisenhall waiting on deck. And a swing and a miss as Barnes picks up his second strikeout, 2 down.
Yeah, it looks a lot more comfortable this inning, maybe getting some early nerves out of the way back in the first inning, but a couple of quick outs, the fly ball out. Now he goes to the curveball to pick up the strikeout here against Yan Gomes.
So 2 down for Lonnie Chisenhall, the right fielder, at 240 with 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. They move Bradley over a little bit towards the line in right field for Chisenhall to pull. Spent time at AAA Columbus this year. He'd been optioned out on June the 7th. Opened the year with the Indians. And up and down this season to AAA. $14 games since he's been back from AAA, hitting at .384 since his return. Lunges at that pitch and fouls it back. Now tune in tomorrow and Wednesday to Nesson for coverage of the WEEI Nesson Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, presented by Arbella Insurance Foundation and sponsored in part by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 2 outs here in the second inning as Chisenhall waits on a 1-2 pitch. That'll skip in. Chisenhall hitting at .390 in the last 13 games with a home run, 5 runs batted in. Popped up, foul off third. Sandoval going as far as he can, but he won't have a play.
Hey, look at this Indians offense, and they're 8th in average, but 12th in runs scored over the course of the season. 14th in home runs. They don't hit many home runs. And we already saw that they will try to steal bases, especially against Matt Barnes tonight, as they've tried 3 already in this game.
They're 8 games under 500 coming in, but they actually have a winning record on the road. They're 30-28 on the road, while just 24-34 at home. A little bit low. Barnes missing at 95 miles an hour. Popped up foul, backing out of play again. Nice night to be at Fenway Park tonight, summer evening. On the ground down the first baseline, foul. Kind of knocked down by Shaw just in case, but a foul ball. Swing and a miss, and 94 on the fastball, back-to-back Ks. A 1-2-3 inning for Barnes. Well, it's time for tonight's Twisted but True Fact. The Red Sox 45 runs are the club's most in a 3-game set since 2003. Also scored 45 runs against the Marlins June 27th through the 29th. Twisted Tea is the hard iced tea. It tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. Well, David Ortiz leading it off here in the second inning after the Red Sox were down in order here in the first inning. Danny Salazar getting that done on 14 pitches in the first inning. Big Papi at 263 with 25 home runs, 73 runs batted in. And the Indians in the shift on the right side. On the ground and to the first baseman guarding the line. He'll take it himself as Santana tags the bag for the first out here of the second inning.
Hanley Ramirez back in the lineup tonight after getting hit off the foot on that last road trip in Detroit. And Missed the Miami series, missed the Seattle series. Worked out yesterday, worked out today, took batting practice prior to the game on the field, and declared himself ready to go tonight.
Watch Hanley take BP today and look pretty good. Definitely ready to be back in the Red Sox lineup. As Jerry mentioned, not played in the last 7 Red Sox games. And a fly ball down the right field line towards the pole. It will hook foul.
Last fastball at 96, and Hanley a little bit late on it, but driving it a long way in foul territory. This was earlier this afternoon at Fenway Park, as the Red Sox taking some extra batting practice.
Salazar kind of yanks that outside and falls behind 2-1.
That's pretty good right there. An average of 95 miles an hour throughout the course of a game.
Swing and a miss there, and it is now 2-2. No fastball that time. Salazar last year finished the year 6-8 with a 4.25 earned run average and 20 starts for the Indians. Getting them to shake off a few, and here's a 2-2 pitch. It is going to be low.
I used to hate that as a hitter when pitchers would stand out there and shake pitches off. You didn't have no idea what was coming. You had your mind set on something. All of a sudden they start shaking their head, and now you're just guessing up there what might be coming. So what do? You revert back to looking for a fastball.
Yeah, check swing on this fastball. It's grounded over by the Red Sox dugout. Fractures the bat of Hanley Ramirez. Well, hey, Red Sox Nation, want the inside scoop from Dunkin' Donuts? Follow at Dunkin' Boston on Twitter for tweets about exclusive contests, news, and more happening in and around New England. The Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Mark Shapiro, president of the Cleveland Indians, in town here, along with the Tribe for this 3-game series. Only visit of the year here for the Indians. And as Jerry mentioned earlier, the Red Sox will be going to Cleveland to wrap up the end of the season. It took Hanley a while to get a new piece of lumber, but he's got one. Full count to Ramirez. And a chopper left side, cutting it off from third is Aviles with a good, hard, accurate throw for the second out here of the second inning.
Keeping that fastball away from Hanley. Hanley trying to pull that last pitch, and the result, a little tap down at third base to Mike Aviles. A lot of times we see Hanley take that pitch to the opposite field, but that time trying to pull it. And Aviles calling off his shortstop, telling him he's got it, and gets Ramirez by plenty at first base.
2 down here in the second inning for Pablo Sandoval.
On Saturday, Sandoval or Felix Hernandez taking one right off the right elbow. Actually volunteered to pitch into the game yesterday, but they had planned on giving him a complete day off, and back in the lineup here tonight.
Yeah, it was a pretty good indication at that point for Torey Lovullo that he'd be available to be in the lineup today. And here he is.
Probably bother him more throwing than swinging the bat, I would think. That obviously being his throwing arm, the right arm.
Carves it foul, evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, and that fastball up to 97 miles an hour from Salazar.
On the ground to shortstop. Lindor corrals it. Throws out Sandoval. A 1-2-3 second inning. Salazar has retired the first 6 Red Sox. Sports Service. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. It's on to the 3rd inning back at Fenway Park. Very comfortable night here at Fenway without a score. And Jerry Sands to lead it off here for the Indians as Matt Barnes returns to the hill. Returning for us, Alex Spear from the Boston Globe. And Alex, Matt Barnes here, it seemed early in the year the Red Sox were pretty set in their ways that they wanted him to be a reliever. Well, now they've kind of changed their philosophy, and now he's back to being a starter.
Well, as we continue to see, the Red Sox had a desperate need for relievers, especially guys with power arms early in the year. They have that same need now, but they also have a number of openings in the rotation because of guys who have been injured at various junctures. Brian Johnson isn't available right now as he continues to work his way back. Rick Porcello on the disabled list, Stephen Wright. And so this is a pretty good opportunity for Barnes to take advantage of a little opening that exists. He had actually come a long way, especially in spring training, I thought, developing his breaking ball, which hadn't really been a reliable pitch for him throughout his minor league career. He had been like a fastball changeup guy a lot of the time, dialing mid-90s and sometimes getting hitters to miss on the changeup. When he was up as a reliever, he was mostly fastball and curveball, and so they wanted to send him down to Pawtucket, get that changeup involved again, and so they figured stretching him out as a starter was a good way to do that. But the opportunity presented itself, so here he is, and looking really good while pitching out of the windup instead of the stretch. His fastball has a little bit more explosion than I think we saw in it a number of times throughout the year, and it gives you a little bit of a reminder. To me, it's really interesting that he's pitching against the Indians because Barnes is exactly the type of guy. He punches out Jerry Sands, who was a Red Sox for like 5 minutes after that Adrian Gonzalez Dodgers deal.
Wow, what analyst that is.
Yeah.
You did the strikeout, and then you gave a little history on Sands. Now, that's good.
And he was tweeting at the same time on the screen. I don't know if you noticed that. It was incredible.
That was very good.
Going for the whole shebang.
Incredible.
But a guy like Barnes is exactly the prototype that the Indians love to go after. Someone who has an electric arm, who has shown the makings of different secondary pitches. And you can kind of dream big on what his upside might be if he were able to harness everything.
Alex, how do you see this outfield playing out the rest of the year? Now, you know, we have seen Hanley Ramirez out there all season long. And now you have 3 young guys, including Castillo, Betts, and Bradley, that obviously you want to get a very good look at before moving forward into the offseason and next season. How do you balance that?
That's a great question, and one that, Torey Lovullo was asked about that prior to today's game and suggested that Betts and Hanley are the guys who have been here all year, and so they're the ones who kind of have the right to those positions. But at the same time, because they've been here all year, you've had an opportunity to evaluate them. You kind of know what they are going forward in those two positions.
Yeah, that's my point. I mean, we know Hanley's going to be here.
Yeah.
We know Betts is going to be here.
Well, we think that I think that we can say that we know that that Betts is going to be here. With Hanley, there are some times when I wonder whether or not, indeed, whether or not the Red Sox would kind of explore the possibility of dealing him in the offseason in the same way that they did Edgar Renteria after the 2005 season when he wasn't capable of playing the position that he was signed to play. With Ramirez, you have that looming question of, okay, he's struggled so far this year in playing left field. Do you think that he can get better in a second year? Maybe. Do you think that he could move to another position such as first base? Maybe, but you're taking a leap of faith for a guy who's never played there. So I do wonder whether or not there would at least be some kind of balloons that were thrown out, seeing whether or not, okay, what would the market for Hanley be like? How much salary would have to be absorbed in order to move him before making a determination on the shape of next year? All of that having been said, you still have to figure out what you have in Bradley, whether or not this recent hot streak is just kind of a mirage or whether or not it's something that he could be going forward. It's so hard not to have him on the field. And Rusney Castillo, who's played so little since he signed with the Red Sox because of the injuries, because of the time off defecting from Cuba, he needs to be on the field too. So it's a tricky, tricky circumstance. And I'm with you. I scratch my head sometimes wondering how they can make out a lineup with less than 11 names in it.
I agree with you. And to me, just as an observer of this ball club, I mean, I think that you have to see Jackie play every day, and I think you have to see Rusney play every day. Can you stay with us for another half inning?
I'm happy to do so.
Okay.
Alex Spear will be back with us. A good start so far for Barnes. DraftKings.com is paying out over $300 million this baseball season. DraftKings has given out $34 million to Boston residents alone since the site launched. Get your free entry into a one-day fantasy baseball contest today using promo code NESSN. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Alex Spear from the Boston Globe joining us. And Alex, tonight getting another look at Travis Shaw, who so far has done pretty well with the Red Sox since joining them.
He is one of the rare instances of a guy who I think might have a chance, based on how his swing works, to be a more effective performer in the major leagues than he has been at various intervals in the minor leagues. He just, from the time that he was drafted and signed with the Red Sox, he was taken in the 9th round in 2011. You just heard one person after another in the organization say,
High drive, deep right field for Travis Shaw, who's left the yard again. 5th home run of the year for Shaw. He is feeling it right now. Red Sox lead it 1-0.
That'll work at Fenway too, I guess.
You know, Travis Shaw has the ability, and we've seen it over and over again, to take pitches that are away from him and hook the ball a long way. Now, this is going to be an off-speed pitch. I believe it's a changeup. Now, it stays inside, and of course, with his swing, that's a perfect pitch for him to hit. And he hit that a long way. That's well up into the bleacher seats.
Yeah, he hasn't really had cheapies since he got up here, and he almost had a 6th home run when in that first game that he collected his first major league hit, when he hit one right off the top of the center field wall. So he's showing the ability to drive the ball to absolutely all fields in an impressive fashion.
Now, for every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to the Cystic Fibrosis Multiple Sclerosis Fund. Alltown is New England's premier healthier convenience retailer. Well, tough to figure, though. You know, you look at the numbers. How is it that he is better at the major league level offensively?
Well, people just said that he would have a made-for-Fenway swing and approach, the ability to stay back on the ball, and not just to hook it and drive it to right field, but also to just kind of play wall ball. That's something that his dad, Jeff Shaw, former major league closer, 2-time All-Star, had worked on him in his backyard from the time he was a little boy. And they really cultivated that approach that allowed him to stay back on the ball, be patient, and combine all the attributes that the Red Sox want to see in a hitter who's at Fenway Park, a guy who thrives in Boston. And so for that reason, there was some suspicion that maybe at the big league level, that's where his best performance would be seen.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. I've run into players like that throughout my career where, you know, they didn't have great offensive numbers at the minor league level, but they got to the big leagues. And one of the reasons for that is pitches are all around the plate in the big leagues, more so than they are in the minor leagues. And you know, you get a guy that obviously hits strikes very well, and sometimes they come to the big leagues and they have better success.
And it's also a well-defined strike zone, a better defined strike zone in the big leagues. So someone who does have good pitch recognition can really thrive if he does have strike zone management at the big league level, because all of a sudden the pitch that's 2 inches outside and getting called for a third strike in Double-A is all of a sudden a ball, and then you're kind of in business.
Well, strikeout here for Salazar. Second K as he gets Hannigan. One down, and here's Jackie Bradley Jr. You mentioned what we've seen offensively from Bradley Jr. lately, and boy, if you can keep this going, you got yourself quite a player.
The line on him has long been if he can hit 250 based on his defense, then he's almost a star caliber player, because his defense is that much of a difference maker relative to anyone else who mans that position in baseball. And so I think that the unexpected, he's up to that 250 vicinity. The unexpected component is that all of it's been extra base hits recently. I think the Red Sox would be thrilled if he was just shooting singles to left with the occasional double. So when you see a breakout game along the lines of what happened over the weekend, it's pretty eye-opening. And obviously, the interesting part about Bradley is that we treat it as almost startling because there hasn't been a lot of evidence of that kind of success at the big league level. There's been a little bit more evidence of that, you know, the swing and miss with the strikeout. But in the minor leagues, a lot of the guys who he's playing with now have seen him as a star in the different stops that he's had, whether that's, you know, when he was blowing through high A and double A in his first full professional baseball season in 2012, or excelling in Pawtucket in 2013 or 2015. And I think that it's helpful that he not only has that background, but that he's around guys who have seen it. So he's no longer kind of in the same kind of tense frame of mind. There's kind of the reassurance of teammates who he's come up with, and I think that that's actually helpful for this group of young players that we're starting to see up in the big leagues together.
There's a line drive base into center field for Mookie Betts. Second hit of the inning and second hit of the ball game for Boston.
Betts and Bradley were actually teammates in their first fall instructional league after they had been drafted and signed with the Red Sox in 2011.
Here they are again at the major league level, and both certainly opening eyes. We were talking with Torey Lovullo before the game about how he's going to work this outfield out, and it's pretty clear that Mookie will stay in center field.
It is. Well, the interesting thing about that is that when John Farrell was asked about whether or not Mookie was going to stay in center field, he basically intimated that that was kind of the plan for the duration of this season. Mm-hmm. Whether or not they would revisit that question next spring is a separate one. We saw Betts last year in right field, of course, and I don't think that you guys may have a different view. I don't think that he was as comfortable in right field certainly as he's played in center field this year. I think that there was a little bit less certainty about the routes, and for some, it just didn't play quite as well. Now, that may have been overall experience in the outfield as opposed to a center field versus right field thing. But, you know, if you're the Red Sox and you do have Jackie Bradley Jr., if you reach the conclusion that he will hit enough to be an everyday player, then don't you have Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field and move everyone else off of that position?
To the point of center field, you know, I've always felt, and I've never played center field, but center fielders have told me that to break into a spot, that's probably the easiest place because you get the best look at the pitches in center field. You can see if the ball's away, you can see if it's in. It helps you get a jump on baseballs, and I think that's what happened with Mookie Betts, where, you know, he was able to get better jumps in center field than he was in right field.
And of course, we forget sometimes how new he is to that position. The fact that he's really only one full year of his professional career into being an outfielder, it's pretty striking what the kind of strides he's made. Which, if you're the Red Sox, that would, you know, perhaps give you a little bit of kind of reassurance that if you did move him to a corner, he's a quick study. Maybe he'd be able to take pretty well there.
Well, it is amazing. It wasn't that long ago that he was playing second base for the Portland Sea Dogs. And now the everyday center fielder for the Red Sox. 2-1 is on the ground right side to Ramirez. He'll go to first base for the out that ends the inning. Travis Shaw, the home run, has put the Red Sox on top 1-0. Alex, thanks so much.
Great to see both of you. Thanks very much.
Back at Fenway Park, 1-0. Red Sox have the lead thanks to the Travis Shaw home run in the bottom of the third inning. Francisco Lindor leading it off here now for the Indians. And a pitch outside from Matt Barnes, who's now retired. Total of 8 in a row now, and has struck out 5 of the 8. Over the inside corner, no doubt he has settled into this outing after kind of a, I don't want to say a rocky first inning, but it's not as good as his second and third innings for sure. Strike called has Lindor down 1-2. Lindor reaching on a sacrifice bunt as he got on. An error committed on the play at first base by Brock Holt. Lindor, Brantley, and Santana scheduled to bat here for the Indians in the fourth inning. Full count now. Third full count already of the night for Barnes. With Brantley waiting on deck. Late swing, and it's fouled into the seats. The center fielder bats into left center. Good sized gap out there in right center for Lindor. Strike three call. Lindor knew it. Takes with him the 6th strikeout for Matt Barnes of the night. With award-winning customer service that puts you first, Eastern Bank is here to make your banking and your day easier. See how at easternbank.com. Here, your first Eastern Bank.
Well, so far, 5 of the 6 strikeouts for Barnes have come on his fastball. 1 on the curveball, 5 on the fastball.
One down here in the 4th inning, and it brings up Michael Brantley. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. Brantley last year an all-star for the first time in his career. Lines this a fair ball down the right field line up into the seats on a hop. So they will give second base to Michael Brantley on a hot shot. That's a fair ball. Breaks up a string of 9 in a row retired by Matt Barnes.
Yeah, Michael Brantley is just a good hitter. I mean, every time you look at his numbers, they're always very good. 312 coming into the game, a 1-for-2 night so far tonight. He gets that inside fastball and really gets the hands out very quickly. Barrel of the bat on the baseball and lines it right on the line. Down the right field line and up into the stands.
That was the first hit of the night for the Cleveland Indians. Took into the 4th inning to grab their first hit. Runner at second, 1 down for Carlos Santana. Santana to right field. Bradley coming in, and it's going to drop in front of him. He trapped it, now fires to third, and a good throw, but late as Brantley gets in on the base hit to right field for Santana. That sinking liner ends up one-hopping Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah, that ball was hit with topspin, and that's why Bradley could not make a play on it. It was sinking very quickly as he got a decent jump on the ball. Tough to get a real good jump on a line drive out in the outfield, and there you see the ball short hopping Jackie Bradley Jr. is able to come up, and then he looks toward third base, thinks he still has a chance, but not there in time as Brantley gets to third. He had to wait to make sure Bradley did not catch that baseball.
First and third, 1 down. Abraham Almonte coming up here. He flied to right his first time up as conference here as they meet about halfway to the mound.
Santana at first base, another guy that can run. He's got 8 steals and only been caught 1 time.
The former catcher, of course, now playing at first base, and of course had that gruesome injury here at Fenway Park at home plate that ended his season when he broke his leg. That was back when he was catching. Monty drops the bunt down and over to play it. Barnes can't field it, and scoring from third is Brantley. Operated there as kind of a safety squeeze, and the run is in. The Indians tie the score 1-1.
Yeah, pretty good idea right there by Almonte. You know, you drag that ball down the first base line, and you know the runner at third has to read that. Once he sees it's on the ground and it's past the pitcher, he gets a chance to come home and score. It's not a suicide squeeze. The safety squeeze, as Don mentioned, and very, very effective. As the runner at third base, as soon as he reads that ball's going to be on the ground, he just takes off and then comes home with no problem. A little bit of a surprise attack right there by the Indians. Small baseball they're playing in this game tonight.
So 2 on, 1 away, game tied up 1-1. And here is Yan Gomes, the Indians catcher. Gomes struck out swinging in the second inning. One of 6 strikeouts on the night for Matt Barnes. Swing and a miss. 94 and kind of running away.
Yeah, Barnes are now working out of the set position, and still good velocity on the fastball. The last one at 95 miles an hour. Keeping it away from Yan Gomes.
Fouled it off himself, but still in the box. Think about Carl Willis here having to deal with all this new pitching this year, whether it be guys coming up from AAA to make their debuts as a starter, whether it be guys acquired like a Gene Machi. I mean, there have been a lot of different guys throwing for Carl Willis.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you have the movement that they've had in the Red Sox pitching, both starting rotation and bullpen, I mean, you just get to know a guy and all of a sudden he's gone. So it's tough to keep up consistent work with them, and that's where time of the minor leagues becomes so important.
Off the outside edge, evens at 2-2. Santana at second, Almonte at first, run already in, and Yan Gomes waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Outside for ball 3. 4th full count of the night now for Matt Barnes. On deck for the Indians, Lonnie Chisenhall, the right fielder.
See if the runners are off here on the 3-2 count with 1 out in the inning.
Foul off to the right. That time they did not.
A little bit of a gamble. You get the swing and miss, and you possibly have a strike him out, throw him out to get you out of what could be a big inning. The fastball right down the middle here, just fouled back.
Outside, ball 4, and the walk is the second walk given up by Barnes, and now it loads the bases here for the Indians with 1 out in the inning. And Carl Willis going to head out here and talk to Matt Barnes before Lonnie Chisenhall comes up. Well, Saturday on NESN Catch, one of the most prestigious horse competitions in North America, the Silver Oak Jumper Tournament. Witness the grace and precision of Olympic-level show jumping. Don't miss the Silver Oak Jumper Tournament Saturday at 5. Bases loaded here with 1 out, and Lonnie Chisenhall going to be coming up here as conversation of the mound, the infield there as well, and now Mike Winters, home plate umpire, headed out to break it up. Indians have tied the score here in this inning. Chisenhall struck out swinging in the second inning. Barnes has racked up 6 Ks in the ball game. And in a bases loaded 1-out situation right here. Chisenhall takes strike one right at the bottom of the zone.
Pretty good pitch to hit right there for a left-handed hitter. Bases loaded. First pitch fastball down in the zone. Usually where lefties like it.
Eight for 33 in his career with the bases loaded. 0 for 3 this year in that category. And he protects the plate, fouls it off to the left, finds himself down 0-2. Santana at third, Almonte at second, Gomes at first. 1 out, a run in for the Indians, who have tied the score here 1-1. And Barnes now trying to get out of this inning without allowing any more runs. Up high, 1-2.
Good pitch right there, up and in, trying to get him to chase a fastball that's out of the strike zone, and almost had Chisenhall biting after it. Started, but then stopped. And that's a very good 0-2 pitch right there.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Chisenhall. Barnes had not given up a hit coming into this, the 4th inning. Has given up 3 hits in the inning, including a bunt single by Abraham Almonte. Now the Connecticut native ready with a 2-2 pitch. Fouled off to the left, out of play. Chisenhall to left. Ramirez going back. It is going to be over his head and off the wall. From third comes Santana. Almonte is going to score as well. 2 runs in for the Indians, who now take a 3-1 lead. A wall ball double for Lonnie Chisenhall. And the Indians have a 3-1 lead here in the 4th inning.
Hanley didn't get a real good read on this. You're going to see him backpedal. He turns and then starts to backpedal once he gets to the warning track, and he had a little bit farther to go to try to make that catch. But once he started to backtrack, he couldn't get there quick enough. Chisenhall taking that breaking ball to the opposite field.
So second and third now with 1 out, and Jerry Sands, the batter, struck out looking in the 3rd inning. '70th pitch of the night coming up here for Barnes. And that has Sands jumping back out of the way. 93-mile-an-hour fastball in. Yankees tonight out to a 3-1 lead over the Minnesota Twins. Yankees are at home. They're in the 3rd inning in New York. After the Blue Jays were able to secure the final game of that series yesterday, and the big series in Toronto. Half game difference between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Matt Barnes' pitching line is brought to you by Ace Ticket. 3 1/3, 4 hits so far, 3 runs, all coming in this inning.
I tell you, the team you might have to look out for too is the Baltimore Orioles. Yep. They're only 4 games back.
Playing good baseball again. They have won 3 straight. Ground ball to first base. Shaw he thought about coming home again, but he tags the bag at first as the run scores, and the Indians take a 4-1 lead. So a ground out for Sands, but he picks up an RBI. Scoring from third is Yan Gomes.
Yeah, you could see Shaw take a peek to the plate, but really no chance this time, and he has to just take the out at first base. Red Sox playing the infield back. And right there, you see Shaw take a look. But no chance. You're not going to take that opportunity right there to maybe not get the guy and also give up another base runner, take the out.
2 down, Mike Aviles, grounded out to second base in the third inning, 0 for 1. Check swing foul at the plate. Aviles at 221, 4 homers and 12 runs batted in coming in. Aviles finishing the 2011 season as a member of the Red Sox, then here for the entire 2012 season. Hit 250 that year, 13 homers and 60 runs batted in for Boston. And now in his third season as a member of the Cleveland Indians. Fouled off to the right, and he's down 0-2. Of course, he had been traded to the Toronto Blue Jays for John Farrell. And you may remember, as it worked out as kind of a paper transaction. And traded from Toronto with Yan Gomes to the Cleveland Indians for Esmiel Rogers during the same offseason. So never did play for the Blue Jays. Into left field, a base hit for Aviles, and from third base comes Chisenhall, and the Indians have put a 5 spot on the board here in the 4th inning.
Well, things were going pretty smooth until Barnes had to start working out of the stretch, and that's when the problems really started for him. Aviles with a 2-out base hit between third and short, gets that fastball out over the plate and drives it into left field for the base hit. Another run coming across, and a 5-1 ball game now.
9th member of this Indians team to bat is Jose Ramirez. Ramirez walked in the first inning, struck out in the third, getting his third plate appearance against Matt Barnes tonight. Barnes allowing 5 runs so far here in the 4th inning. Mike Aviles at first base, held on by Shaw. Starting to stop at first for Aviles as the strike taken by Ramirez.
Aviles will run once in a while too. He's got 3 steals, hasn't been caught.
For the first, and back to the bag is Aviles. That time Barnes checking. Slap foul off to the left, protecting the plate. Still 1-2. Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. TC and Eck will break down Matt Barnes' first major league start. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? Pitch 35 of the inning coming up here for Matt Barnes. He had thrown 45 through the first 3 innings. And he'll throw more as this one is fouled back to the screen. On deck is Francisco Lindor, who batted first to begin this inning and struck out looking. Things were looking very good at that point for Barnes, who had retired 9 batters in a row with that strikeout. There's a fly ball to center field. Mookie Betts has got it sized up and puts it away. But what an inning for the Indians. They score 5 times and take a 5-1 lead. Here's the rundown for a limited time. Sign up for a free checking account with Eastern Bank and get $100. Just text money to 36698. Message and data rates may apply. Bottom of the 4th inning, now 5-1. The Indians on top of the Red Sox. And a first pitch strike in there to Xander Bogaerts. David Ortiz and Hanley Ramirez to follow. Work to do for the Red Sox, who now trail by 4 runs. Check swing, foul. Long wait for Danny Salazar. He now has a 4-run lead to work with. He had given up a leadoff home run to Travis Shaw in the 3rd inning, which put the Red Sox on top 1-0, but a quick answer from the Indians offense. On the ground up the middle as Ramirez circles around behind it and throws to first base in time to get Bogaerts. Send it down to Guerin.
Okay. Thanks, Don. Terry Francona met with reporters before the game, and he said that he was unsettled when he heard the news about John Farrell. Francona said he was having a conversation with Farrell, and when Farrell mentioned that he was going to start treatment tomorrow, Francona said, "I'm going with you." Francona also said that he hoped he didn't get in the way, but he said, "All I can do is go and be a friend." Don?
Well, as I mentioned before, certainly it is amazing that he is here for the beginning of the treatment for John Farrell. Just worked out on the schedule that way, and going to go with him tomorrow.
Well, this has to be a very difficult night for John Farrell, knowing what's coming up starting tomorrow for him. And, to have somebody by his side, a guy that he truly has a lot of respect for and obviously cares very much about, a true friend. I think will mean a lot to him to have him there with him as he begins his treatment.
David Ortiz down here 1-2 with 1 out in the inning. And the Indians in the shift. The other way to Sands in left field, who makes the catch on the warning track. 2 down. David thought he had enough perhaps to get to the wall, but Sands able to get back there to make the catch in front of the wall.
It sounded that way, and it looked that way as he made contact to the opposite field, but not quite enough. Sands there to make the play on the warning track.
So 2 down. Here is Hanley Ramirez, who's to return to the lineup tonight after missing 7 games. Fouls it off down the right field line. Fouling pitches off his feet and did not go on the DL, but kept him out of the lineup for 7 games. And back tonight, grounded out to third base in the second inning, 0 for 1.
Wow, one-handed snag right there. Pretty good. Made it look easy.
That flying into the seats there out of the hands of Hanley Ramirez. Going to make a trade here. Hanley giving them another bat for the bat that he had. Everybody okay. 2 down here in the 4th inning as Hanley digs back in again. In the air to right field. Lonnie Chisenhall out there in a good spot. Makes the catch. It ends the inning. Red Sox down in order. It is 5-1 Cleveland through 4. 1975 season in their 118th game. Red Sox lost to the Angels 8-3. Jerry, you doubled and scored twice for the Angels that day.
Wow.
You ruined the day for the 1975 Red Sox.
I wouldn't say personally ruined it, but
pretty good day though.
At least getting a hit, a couple of runs. I don't know how I got. If I walk, that would be unusual.
That I don't know. All I know is you doubled and scored twice.
All right.
As part of an 8-3 Angels win.
So I did play baseball.
Yeah. Had you forgotten? It's on the ground down the first baseline, and it'll be picked up by Shaw with the left foot. He tags the bag. Some nifty footwork there by the Red Sox first baseman, kind of picking it up, finding the bag with his foot for the first out of the inning.
Now, Shaw's also done a nice job, offensively, but also at first base as he's able to make this play and immediately put the left foot on the bag because he could sense the runner, Linden, coming in, and Linden comes in head first. Trying to slide away from the tag. No tag, just the tag of the bag.
One down here in the fifth inning, and Michael Brantley coming up.
Who was the pitcher that day? Did it say? Do you remember?
No.
I want to say Rick Wise, but I'm not sure if that's what it said.
Reggie Cleveland.
Really? Reggie Cleveland. Okay.
Apparently he was chased after 2 1/3, so.
No wonder I got a hit.
It was against the bullpen, it sounds like. Off balance swing there for Brantley, evens the count at 1-1. Center fielder Mookie Betts over towards right center. Good sized gap out in left center field. Frame there by Hannigan, but called the ball. 2-1. Brantley fouls it off up to the top deck, off to the left. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the Boston Red Sox. Whether you're taking your truck off-road, the kids to practice, or your sports car to its limits, there's a Toyo Tire for you. Visit toyotires.com to find a dealer near you. Fifth full count here for Michael Brantley from Matt Barnes. That's why the pitch count is so high right now at 88 pitches with one out here in the fifth. Another foul off to the left. Your double, I'm told, came off Jim Burton.
A left-hander?
Mm-hmm.
He must have had an off night. He must have really had an off night. In those days, I didn't hit left-handers at all. Got a little better toward the end of my career.
Did you open your stance or something?
I opened up a little bit, started looking for the ball middle in. I was amazed at how many pitches I got middle in.
Fly ball center field. Betts on the move from right center to left center, and he lays it out to make the catch. Mookie Betts diving to make the grab in left center. Boy, did he have to go a long way to get there.
Well, that's a combination of everything, positioning, instincts, getting the jump on the baseball, closing speed, and the ability to hold onto that baseball, rolling his wrist when he hits the grass. Just the whole package right there from Mookie Betts. You don't get that kind of defense down at AAA every day. That to me is one of the biggest differences between the minor leagues and the big leagues, the defense that they can throw against you night after night.
2 down now in the fifth, thanks to a little help from his friends. Here is Carlos Santana. That's a fly ball well out to deep right center field. Goes Betts back, and that ball's going to be into the bullpen. A home run for Carlos Santana, his 13th home run of the year. And the Indians up their lead to 6-1.
And one of the reasons they got Santana away from behind the plate, save that body a little bit, get him to first base, and take advantage of his offensive ability. And right there, that fastball was supposed to be away. It stayed middle, and Santana hooks it into the Red Sox bullpen.
So 2 down, a home run, and here is Almonte. Takes a pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Almonte fly to right in the second, and a bunt single in the 4th inning. Came around to score. Drives this down the right field line, but is out ahead of it and hooks it foul. Time called as backing out is Almonte. Two and one. Now Barnes was able to get Lindor to ground out to first, Brantley to fly out to center, and a great catch by Betts. But home run into the Boston bullpen off the bat of Carlos Santana. It's made it 6-1 Cleveland. In there for strike 2.
There's a bit of a hanging breaking ball right there from Matt Barnes. That curveball stayed up in the zone, but taken by Almonte.
Good fastball down the middle, though, 95 miles an hour, fouled back. Now, the Red Sox end of summer family pack is back this year through Sunday. Take the whole family to Fenway Park, get free parking, a free duck boat ride, and free hot dog and Coke. Visit redsox.com/family for tickets. Slip there by Barnes as that one got away from him. 3-2.
Yeah, reached down to grab some dirt right away, get that moisture off his hand. Ball slipping out of his hand on the breaking ball.
Ball 4, and he walks Almonte with 2 down in the inning. That's the 3rd free pass served up by Barnes. And a call down to the bullpen now. Some stirring down there. Somebody's getting up. As Barnes giving up a home run, now a walk after getting the first 2 outs of this, the 5th inning. Heath Hembree, who just returned to the Red Sox, going to be first up. Red Sox making some changes today with Hembree and Barnes being added to the roster. And now Carl Willis will head out there to buy some time here for Hembree to get ready.
Had Cook and Cecchini sent back down to the minor leagues today to activate Bonds and Hembree.
Of course, Carl Willis was the former pitching coach for the Cleveland Indians under Eric Wedge when Wedge was the manager of the Indians. Well, here are the moves. Matt Barnes and, of course, Heath Hembree activated. Garen Cecchini was here for 1 day as it worked out. And Ryan Cook, who had a couple of tough outings for the Red Sox out of the pen, returned to AAA. Two down, Almonte at first base, and Yan Gomes coming up. A strikeout victim in the second, walked and scored in the 4th inning.
A lot going on here to get a little more time for Hembree. Hannigan went out. Willis came out. A throw to first base.
Oh, swing and a miss for Gomes on a fastball running in. Next pitch will be 100 for Matt Barnes. On the outside corner, Barnes now ahead 0-2. Two quick outs in the inning before the home run by Santana. Walk for Almonte. Now he's jumped ahead of Gomes 0-2. Hannigan trying to settle him down here and finish off the inning. The veteran catcher working with a guy making his first major league start. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, gets away from Hannigan, and to second base goes Almonte. He'll round it and hang on there at second on a pitch that got away.
Tried to snap off a breaking ball. It looked like breaking ball, a changeup, something off speed down in the dirt. Maybe a fastball, and to the backhand goes Hannigan. He can't make the play backhanded. Gets by him, and that puts another man in scoring position.
Swing and a miss, and Gomes strikes out. So Barnes does get out of the inning without any more trouble. But a home run by Santana, 6-1 Cleveland. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final presented by Uno's. TC and Eck will have the latest on the American League East race. Red Sox fans having a good time tonight, even if the score is 6-1 with the Cleveland Indians on top. Barnes finishing that inning at 102 pitches. And trailing by 5 as the Red Sox come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. Pablo Sandoval, Travis Shaw, and Ryan Hannigan. Pablo grounded out to the shortstop, Francisco Lindor, in the second inning, 0 for 1. Reaches out and pops it up. And on the third baseline, Mike Aviles, the third baseman, calling and catching the first out here of the 5th inning. Well, tonight's poll question is presented by the Scion TC. Which type of game do you find more entertaining? Text Sox 1 for high-scoring games. Text Sox 2 for pitchers' duels. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. One message per vote. Visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions as well as privacy policy.
Well, I think I know which one's going to win, and I think it's probably going to be the offense, the high-scoring games. I prefer, as an announcer, the pitches duels. Now,
I would agree.
When I was playing, that was a different story. I didn't like pitches duels. That means you were not getting any hits and scoring any runs.
So your entire perception has changed now that you have another job.
Yeah, the job's a little different. Yeah, it's a little bit different.
So pitchers duels. Honestly, I like something in the middle. I mean, I don't need a lot of runs scoring. I don't need, just something.
You know what you need is just a good game.
Yes,
a good game.
Clean game. Five in a row retired by Salazar. Shaw carves it foul.
And usually in a good game, you get a little bit of both of those.
Right.
Good pitching, good hitting, clutch hitting, fundamentally sound game, moving runners along, sacrificing, doing things like that.
Travis Shaw had a home run in the 3rd inning. It was his 5th home run for the Red Sox, and at the time gave the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. Now the Indians have scored 6 unanswered runs as Shaw takes a pitch outside. Travis Shaw, a 9th round pick in 2011. Last year splitting the year between Portland and Pawtucket. It's the arms out of the way, and that was almost a strike, but a full count now. Shaw now 25 years old. Lifts it foul off to the left out of play.
Still throwing hard, 98 miles an hour on that last fastball from Salazar. That's pretty impressive from a starting pitcher, 97. I mean, we see that a lot, guys coming out of the bullpen.
Elevates and chasing is Shaw on the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's strikeout number 4 for Salazar.
Yeah, we mentioned so many times it's such a tough pitch to lay off because you see it so well. It's high, but you just can't get on top of it, and there's too much velocity right here to be able to make contact on a pitch like that.
Two down, 6 in a row retired by Salazar, and that'll bring up Ryan Hannigan. Hannigan struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Strikeouts per 9 innings. Salazar double figures in that category, 10.24.
Yeah, we're going to see Kluber also in this series.
Kluber going in Game 3, matched up against Joe Kelly. Tomorrow is Eduardo Rodriguez against Trevor Bauer. This 3-game series against the Tribe. Fly ball right center. Almonte is there to make the catch that ends the inning. Red Sox down in order. In fact, 7 in a row retired by Salazar. Our Bell Insurance Foundation is the proud presenting sponsor of the WEI Ness and Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. Arbella donates $50 for every strikeout thrown by a Sox pitcher, up to $100,000. Arbella Insurance Foundation, here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good. Now back at Fenway Park, ready for the top of the 6th inning with Cleveland on top 6-1. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Kia. Heath Hembree into the game for the Red Sox. 5th appearance overall in the year, an 8.53 earned run average, 3 strikeouts at 2 walks, and opponents hitting at .320 against Hembree. 3 stints with the Red Sox this year. Last appeared for Boston back in mid-June, June the 14th against Toronto. Prior to that, he'd been called up on the 26th of April and May the 23rd. Did spend some time on the DL. Right shoulder inflammation from June 15th through July 24th while with the Pawtucket Red Sox. Lonnie Chisenhall leading it off here for the Indians. Ball and a strike to the Indians right fielder. Swinging a foul tip. So Matt Barnes tonight, 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs. He walked 3, struck out 7, ended up throwing 102 pitches. Tough inning, the 4th inning. That's where he ran into trouble. Really the 2nd time through the Indians' order. They scored 5 times in that 4th inning. Framed by Hannigan, but it's a ball.
Well, it's much movement on that fastball for Hembree. It started out looked like it was going to get the corner, then it kind of tailed to the outside part of the plate. As you see that late movement right there.
In the air to right field. Jackie Bradley Jr. going back to the warning track, and that ball is gone. Jackie going into the pen, and that ball is well into the pen and well out of his reach. A home run for Chisenhall, his 6th home run, and the Indians take a 7-1 lead.
That's been a little bit of everything tonight for the Cleveland Indians. Some small ball early in the game, some long ball here in the middle part of the game. Chisenhall very deep into the Cleveland bullpen. Jackie Bradley climbing the fence and then jumping over.
So leadoff home run here by Chisenhall greets Heath Hembree into the game, and here is Jerry Sands. Drilled back where it came from, but knocked down by Holt. Stays with it. His throw in time. Good play by Brock Holt. It's time for a game break brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Tom? Okay, Tom, thanks very much. So scary when that happens, and we will wait to get further word on that situation in New York, as with 1 out here in the 6th inning, Mike Aviles batting for the 3rd time. Grounded out to second base in the 3rd, singled to left in the 4th inning. Fouled off to the right, 0-2.
That's an ugly thing when that happens, and fortunately you don't see it that often, and sometimes it amazes me that you don't see it more often. Pitches getting hit on line drives back through the middle, and well, we've seen that a couple of times, and it's not pretty.
Of course, Matt Clement, one of the worst ones I think we've seen over the years.
I agree.
Tropicana Field. Bryce Flory here at Fenway Park. Off the end of the bat, foul. Still 1-2. We'll join Billy Costa and Jenny Johnson at the Marshfield Cask and Flagon on Tuesday, August the 25th, for their summer soiree. There'll be a margarita and taco bar, live entertainment, silent auction, and live raffle. All proceeds benefit the Magical Moon Foundation. Tickets can be purchased at the door on August 25th at the Cask in Marshfield. Velas tried to hold up, but goes around and strikes out. First strikeout for Hembree, second out of the 6th inning.
A good slider here by Hembree is, he gets ahead in the count, then he works the outside part of the plate, actually off the outside part of the plate, and gets Velas to take a swing at it.
Mika Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 2 down in the inning, and here is Jose Ramirez. Walked in the first, struck out in the third, flied out to center field in the 4th inning. Red Sox into the bullpen here in the 6th inning after 5 from the starter Matt Barnes tonight. Charged with 6 of the 7 runs the Indians have in the game.
It's a pretty good balancing act. Very good. The right's going.
I think he taped it to his moss.
I don't think so.
Well, tonight's polos are designed by Joseph Abood, available at Men's Warehouse. Two is outside, full count. Jose Ramirez batting now with Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. Indians batting in the top of the 6th inning, on top 7-1. In the air down the left field line, Hanley Ramirez over onto the dirt to make the catch that ends the top of the 6th. The home run for Chisenhall. 7-1 Cleveland. Well, don't miss the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon live on Nesson tomorrow and Wednesday. Special guests and your favorite New England athletes will stop by the set and hop on the phone. Coverage begins at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. 7-1, Indians have the lead over the Red Sox. Bottom of the 6th inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. with a ball and a strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. He went down swinging. See Betts and Holt after Bradley here in the bottom of the 6th. Only 2 hits allowed by Salazar so far. The solo home run by Travis Shaw in the 3rd. Single to center by Mookie Betts. Also in the 3rd inning. Late time call there. Salazar ready to deal, but time call by home plate umpire Mike Winters. Ball 4 and a leadoff walk for Jackie Bradley Jr. Just the first walk given up by Danny Salazar.
A good job by Bradley Jr. laying off that fastball. It was certainly one you had to think about because it was close enough to home plate, but does not bite at it and draws the walk.
Well, get immediate care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station behind Section 12 on the lower concourse. BIDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Mookie Betts in his 3rd at bat of the night struck out swinging in the 1st inning, single to center in the 3rd. Red Sox being out hit by the Indians 7-2 in this ball game. Chopper to short. Lindor flips to second underhanded on to first for a double play. Tough to do with that combination and Betts and Bradley on the bases, but the Indians do turn it.
Yeah, Lindor made a very nice play on that as he charged it. He knows that if he stays back, there's no way they get the double play, and he charged it and played it on that short hop. The underhand flip to second base, perfect, about letter high, Indian high at second base, as you can see, and then the quick release to first base to get Mookie Betts. But the decision there made by Lindor to charge that ball, it's the only way they're going to get 2.
Now a fastball zipped in there for strike 1 to Brock Holt. Danny Salazar's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 5 2/3, 2 hits, the 1 run. The home run by Travis Shaw. Walk and 4 Ks, 81 pitches deep into his outing. And ahead of Brock Holt, 0-1. Sprayed foul off to the left, out of play. Now 6 games this year between the Indians and the Red Sox. 3 here tonight. Not tonight. We're not going to play all 3. The first of 3 here tonight, and then series wraps up with 3 games in Cleveland at the end of the year. And first week of October, 2nd through the 4th. On the ground and a fair ball down the left field line into the corner. Off the garage door as Holt rounds second base, has himself a 2-out double. Only the 3rd hit of the night for Boston.
And a lot of times you'll see a hitter pull the curveball, but not that time. Brock Holt takes the curveball and shoots it the other way, right down that third base line. There's the breaking ball right there. It does stay away from Holt, so very good hitting there by Brock. Tangled up down in the corner, down around the 310 mark, but 2 bases for Holt.
Stanley, the official tools of the Boston Red Sox when you demand performance and action on the job site. 2 down, Brock Holt scoring position at second base, and it brings up Xander Bogaerts. 0 for 2 in the game. He is grounded to short, grounded to second. Very high, and it is a ball and a strike. Now, this number leads the major leagues right now for Xander Bogaerts with runners in scoring position, hitting at .398. As Holt at second with 2 down. 1-2. Change speeds on him there. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Remains 1-2. Still throwing hard at 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's been impressive the way he's kept up his velocity throughout these first 6 innings. Goes away with the fastball that time, and a good job by Bogaerts to foul that pitch off.
Out ahead of this, fouling it off to the left and out of play. Xander battling here. In the air to left field. Jerry Sands out there in left with plenty of room. Makes the catch that ends the inning. We are through 6. Red Sox trail 7-1. Looking for a fun activity for the kids this summer? Visit NESN.com/freezeframe to see a photo of the week. Then have your son or daughter send in a caption that can make it on the next NESN Clubhouse show. Visit NESN.com/freezeframe today. On to the 7th inning. And a fly ball well struck out towards left center field, as it'll be Mookie Betts in front of the track with Hanley Ramirez alongside. Retiring Francisco Lindor for the first out here of the 7th inning. Heath Hembree back out on the mound. 2nd inning of relief as one down, and Michael Brantley coming up. Brantley reaching on the fielder's choice in the 1st inning, doubled and scored in the 4th, flied out to center in the 5th. Ball and a strike to Michael Brantley with Carlos Santana waiting on deck. Foul back, and it's 1-2. Right now, you can get up to 60 months with no interest on anything at Jordan's Furniture. Furnish one room or your entire home. Best of all, you'll get to enjoy it right now. Visit Jordans.com for details. Brantley got jammed, but he flips it out to left, and that's going to drop in for a hit in front of Hanley Ramirez. One out single for Michael Brantley. Let's check in with Guerin.
Thanks, Don. Dustin Pedroia was on the field taking BP today for the first time since going on the DL in late July. Inter manager Torey Lovullo said there's a natural progression, one thing per day. And even though Pedroia said he's ready to go, Lovullo said they're sticking with the program and they're not going to rush anything. Don?
You got to take your time. Certainly, last time Pedroia came back, certainly was not ready. This time, no real reason to rush him back out onto the field.
No, and you can tell that he's feeling better. I mean, just the way he's walking around the clubhouse, talking more, and starting to feel better, and that's certainly a good sign for Dustin. I mean, nothing makes him more miserable than sitting on the bench and not being able to play because he's hurt.
One out, one on as Carlos Santana stands in.
He's a tough guy to read, though. You know, I mean, he's one of those guys that you ask him how you feel. Oh, great, feel good. You know, ready to go. And so it's the same thing like 3 weeks ago. You know, he wasn't quite ready. And but this time, you know, as they said, they're taking very small steps with him, making sure that he does everything he has to do before returning.
Strike over the inside corner that time. Embry throwing hard at 94 miles an hour. H.B. Hood salutes the Red Sox Foundation for its commitment to 4,900 accredited charities throughout New England.
Nice view from up on the monster seats, getting some pictures.
Pablo Sandoval, right side of the infield here as part of the shift. Evens up at 2-2 to Santana. 2 hits on the night, a single and a home run for Santana. As you see the defensive alignment on the right side. Be sure to follow Nesson on Instagram today. Catch all the cool behind-the-scenes photos. It will be happening in the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. You never know who could be stopping by. Follow Nesson at Instagram.com/Nesson. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Strikes out Carlos Santana. Second strikeout for Hembree. 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, good location for that slider down in the strike zone. And Hembree picks up the strikeout. The ball actually down out of the strike zone below the knees of Santana.
So 2 down for Abraham Almonte. Flied out to right in the second, had a bunt single and scored in the fourth. He walked in the fifth inning. It's one of the 8 Indians hits in this game. Big inning for the Indians was the fourth inning when they scored 5 times. A run in the fifth, a run in the sixth, and enjoy a 7-1 lead. To left field. Hanley Ramirez going back to make the catch on the warning track that ends the inning. 7-1 Cleveland. Let's take a look at the updated Red Sox box score. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NessonDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Tweet your photos now. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-1. Indians on top of the Red Sox. More Danny Salazar. Ortiz swings to the first pitch. Puts it into shallow left. And it'll be Sands who makes the catch. Mike Avila was out there as well, the third baseman, but Sands takes away any drama. 1 down. 0 for 3 is Big Papi tonight. And here comes Hanley Ramirez. 0 for 2 so far. He was grounded out to third base and flied out to right. Mind a fair ball down the left field line to the corner. Jerry Sands over to dig it out. Hanley Ramirez to second base with a 1-out double. His first hit of the night.
Yeah, I was watching Hanley round first base and going to second base. There's no question he's still limping after taking that ball off his foot, but he gets a slider right here and hooks it down that left field line for the 2-base hit. And you see Hanley running down to first base, and he kind of struggling a little bit, especially after he rounds first base as he makes his way into second. You can see that limp.
So 1 out, a runner at second. Here comes Pablo Sandoval. Red Sox have further action in the pen. Tommy Lane, the left-hander, up. Heath Hembree has gone the last 2 innings of relief, giving up a couple of hits, including the home run to Lonnie Chisenhall. Pitch 95 for Salazar is fouled back. Fastball. Right now, Ace Ticket has super savings on all Red Sox tickets. Tickets start at just $9. New York Yankees tickets start at just $33. Supplies are limited. Visit aceticket.com right now for super savings. 1 out, Hanley Ramirez at second base. 0-2 the count to Pablo Sandoval. Red Sox have been able to do very little against Danny Salazar tonight. 1-out double here, though, by Ramirez, as sliding to his right is Yan Gomes to grab that. Fly ball left field. Sands going back to make the catch for the second out. No advance for Hanley Ramirez. 2 down. Sands been busy in this game. Well, tomorrow at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC and Eck will have extensive live coverage of the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. Two down. Hanley Ramirez at second base and Travis Shaw the batter. Shaw homered in the 3rd inning, struck out swinging in the 5th.
99 pitches on the night for Salazar.
So the next one will be
100.
Hundo. 0-2. Pretty good pitch, but he doesn't get the call. Kind of a moving target there for Yan Gomes.
Yeah, sometimes the catcher, you know, because he's set up outside like this and has to reach across, they won't get that call. And actually, that looked like a pretty good pitch. And the strange thing about that is the umpire's set up inside, and so he gets a very good look at the pitch. Sometimes it's all in the presentation. And the presentation there was not good.
No. Didn't miss by a lot. Count evens at 2-2. Shaw has supplied the only Red Sox run in this game. A home run back in the 3rd inning his 5th of the year. Under the average right now. 2-2. Up and away for ball 3. Popped up foul, back and out of play. Well, tomorrow at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. TCNEC will preview Eduardo Rodriguez's start against these Cleveland Indians. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Fouled off again. Avila's giving chase, but won't have a play. Shaw taking inventory on his bat. Make sure he didn't break it. He did not. We'll see a 10th pitch in this at bat now. Nothing else driving this pitch count up for Salazar. Swing and a miss, and Shaw strikes out to end the 7th inning. It's 7-1 Cleveland through 7. Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Infinity. Visit your local Boston area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. And by your local Subaru dealers.
Well, back in the 4th inning when they got 5 runs for the Indians, some of the action back in the 4th. Chisenhall with a double over the head of Hanley Ramirez, driving in a couple of runs. A ground ball to first base by Sands will get a run home. Mike Aviles with a base hit will drive in another hitting from the 9th spot in the lineup, and then Carlos Santana with the home run to make it 6-1 at that time. That was the big inning right there for the Indians tonight, the fourth.
Fly ball to short right field. In comes Jackie Bradley Jr. to put it away for out number one, Yan Gomes. Retired as Hembree back on the hill for one batter here in the eighth inning, it appears. As Torey Lovullo out to make the change after Hembree gives him 2 1/3 of relief. Tommy Lane will be coming in with one out here in the eighth inning. Pitching change from Fenway Park. 7-1 Indians. Innings, just the one earned run. Home runs from Chisenhall and Santana for the Tribe. While the Red Sox, Barnes makes his major league debut as a starter tonight. 5 innings, charged with 6 of the 7 runs. As Travis Shaw with a solo home run, his 5th of the year. Lone Red Sox run. One down here in the 8th inning. And Tommy Lane, the new Red Sox pitcher, with strike one to Lonnie Chisenhall. For Tommy Lane, his 44th appearance, 0-1 with a 4.37 earned run average, 35 innings, 35 strikeouts. Opponent sitting at 256 against Lane. Allowed 3 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning on Saturday against the Mariners. He had started the 8th inning in that game, allowed a 2-run home run to Nelson Cruz. Now in here with the bases empty, shift on for the Red Sox on the right side. As Chisenhall will take ball 2. Now for Lonnie Chisenhall back in the 6th inning. This was off Heath Hembree. Into the bullpen and well out of the reach of Jackie Bradley Jr. Followed it into the pen. For Chisenhall, his 6th round tripper of the year. Action for the Indians as Brian Shaw up in the pen. He was warming up all of last inning. Salazar threw 108 pitches through the first 7 innings of tonight's ball game and pitched very well.
Yeah, very impressed by Salazar tonight.
Swing and a miss as striking out is Chisenhall for out number 2 of the 8th.
Good breaking ball right there from Tommy Lane to pick up the strikeout against lefty. Lefty against lefty and goes to the breaking ball. Keeps it away. Pick up the strikeout.
2 down for Jerry Sands, who has struck out and grounded out twice. Fastball kind of tied him up and in. 0-1. The only blemish for Heath Hembree in his 2 1/3 innings was that home run by Chisenhall. Otherwise, pitched well in his return to Boston tonight. Third stint of the year for Tommy Lane in Boston this year. Was on the opening day roster to begin the year, but was sent down pretty early, April 12th.
It's actually Yanni Baylor speaking Japanese to Koji. What do you think, Don? You think?
I don't think so. Well outside, 1-2. Koji still got the arm still wrapped up there with a cast. Lost for the season.
I think we all know what he just said. When you make that sign there, you're talking about money.
Cash.
Right? Yeah. That's known in every language, I think. Cash.
Swing and a miss, and striking out is Sands. Back-to-back Ks for Lane. It is 7-1 Cleveland. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Bottom of the 8th inning back at Fenway Park, 7-1. The Indians on top of the Red Sox. Well, after 7 very good innings from Danny Salazar, here is Brian Shaw. 51st appearance, 1-2 with a 2.76 earned run average, 35 strikeouts, 13 walks. Opponent sitting at 233 against the right-hander. And here to start the 8th inning, Ryan Hannigan grounds one to second baseman Jose Ramirez. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong Fan photo of the game. Use hashtag NESN Data Strong Fan. Just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Put your photos now. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
Can you guess what ballpark that is?
That looks like Dodger Stadium to me.
That's a good call, Don.
You know
I had no idea, but you know what gives it away? Those yellow seats?
Yep.
You're right. That's probably Dodger Stadium.
Jackie Bradley Jr. struck out in the 3rd inning, walked in the 6th inning. Bradley takes ball 4 in a 4-pitch walk now for Jackie Bradley Jr. Second time he's walked in the ball game tonight.
Gives him a total of 14 walks on the season now with these 2 tonight. Strikeout and 2 walks. So Bradley's been on base a couple of times out of the 9 spot.
1 out, 1 on for Mookie Betts. Who struck out swinging, singled to center, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. That's not close, and Yan Gomes will head out and talk to Shaw. The final line on Salazar tonight: 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. He walked a batter, struck out 5. Only blemished the home run by Travis Shaw in the 3rd inning. Two and 0. That is 6 straight balls now thrown by Shaw. You see Danny Salazar looking on. There's a strike. Another strike, that time on the corner. It's like a back-to-back cutter. Bradley at first base, 1 down here in the 8th. And a ground ball towards second base. Ramirez will bobble it. He'll get the lead runner. That ball had all kinds of spin on it. Couldn't play it cleanly, but he does get Bradley at second base on the force out.
Yeah, at first he's trying to rush because he knows he has Mookie Betts going down the line, and then panic sets in when you bobble the baseball. That ball came up in a weird position, and fortunately he was eventually able to get it for him and then give that shuffle pass to second base to still be able to get the force out. That's going down the line, obviously trying to stay away from a double play, but he could see that bobble, and he knew heading down that line there's no way they were going to get the deuce.
2 down, Betts at first, and here's Brock Holt. Holt has flied to left, grounded out to second base, and last time up doubled as one of 4 Red Sox hits in the game. Think about all the hits the Red Sox put together over the weekend, and tonight only 4 in this entire game. Sprayed foul off to the left, has Holt down 0-2.
Now we kind of highlighted at the top where they're going to see a little better pitching in this series than they did in the last, and certainly that's been evident here in game 1 of this 3-game series against Cleveland. Salazar very, very good tonight. Good velocity and good location with that velocity.
Here's the line for Salazar. Ended up with 108 pitches. On the ground back to the mound, Shaw will go to first base for the out that ends the inning. Through 8 from Fenway, it is 7-1 Cleveland. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. 7-1. The Cleveland Indians have the lead over the Red Sox as we enter the 9th inning. And Mike Aviles leading it off. Tommy Lane back on the mound again. Credit for strike 1. With Aviles batting for the 4th time in the game. He is grounded out, singled, and struck out. Single drove in a run, his 13th RBI of the year. Line towards the gap in right center field. That'll get down, but quickly cut off by Betts, who turns and fires back in. But Aviles will just get to second base with a double. He was thinking double out of the box.
And once you have an outfielder on a run like that, you know, you got to be thinking about 2 bases. And Aviles right here, seeing how far Mookie Betts had to go to get that ball, hustling right out of the box, and then turns it out a little bit as he gets to first base to pick up that leadoff double here in the 9th. So he's a pretty good night. He's a 2 for 4 night tonight with an RBI.
Leadoff double to start the 9th inning. Jose Ramirez. Action for the Indians in the pen. Cody Allen. After tonight, seeing 7 innings from Danny Salazar, an inning for Brian Shaw. Right at the bottom of the zone for strike 1. to right field, short right, and Bradley is there. He's playing pretty shallow anyway, and he reels it in for the first out of the 9th inning. So 1 out will bring up Francisco Lindor. 0 for 3 with a sacrifice in the game. He struck out in the 4th, grounded out in the 5th, flied out to center in the 7th. We'll see Eduardo Rodriguez tomorrow against Trevor Bauer. Oh, and 2.
Couple of breaking balls, a slider, then the cutter from Tommy Lane to quickly get ahead. That last pitch down around ankle high to Lindor.
Bouncing in, blocked nicely by Hannigan. No advance at second base for Aviles.
Not seeing anything straight yet. That was a changeup that time from Tommy Lane. So the curveball, the cutter, the changeup.
Lindor reaches out, grounds it softly towards Bogaerts, and he'll have no play. Too much speed there for Lindor. Beats it out. Infield hit as Aviles takes third base.
Just a little tap toward shortstop, and absolutely nothing Bogaerts could do with this except take a look. Peeks at first, peeks at third, make sure the runner's not rounding the base too far, and give it back to the pitcher because there's nothing else you can do.
First and third, 1 out, and Michael Brantley getting situated, ready to get in the box. Brantley tonight has grounded into a fielder's choice, doubled and scored. He is flied out to center and singled to left field. He has 2 of 10 Indians hits in the game. Now Hannigan going out to talk to Lane. On the ground, Lane lets it go. Holt will go to second base for an out there as a run scores. In from third is Aviles. And it's now 8-1 Indians.
And no matter who makes that play, whether it be Tommy Lane or Brock Holt, they're not going to get the man coming to the plate in Aviles. He's going to score anyway. And the ball's certainly not hit hard enough to get a double play. So Lane lets it go. Brock Holt still goes to second base to get the lead runner. But another run comes across for the Indians. See Bogaerts looking toward first base, but absolutely no play at first base for Xander.
So 2 down, Brantley at first base. They do not hold him on as Carlos Santana now bats. And takes ball one from Tommy Lane. Santana with a home run back in the 5th inning, his 13th round tripper of the year. Strike call, 2-1. On deck is Abraham Almonte. There are 2 outs here, though, in the top of the 9th inning. Indians have added a run on top 8-1. Strike 2. Line to right field. Bradley lost it in the lights for a moment, but reaches out and makes the catch right in the light bank. Held on. It was an adventure, but it's the out that ends the top of the 9th. And Lonnie Chisenhall with a home run back in the 6th inning. His 6th home run of the year. That would make it 7-1 at the time. Eight to 1 now. Indians have the lead as they add a run in the top half of the 9th. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And a new pitcher now on for the Indians as Cody Allen checks into his 50th game of the year, 1-4 with a 3.83 earned run average. Closer 23 out of 26 in save opportunities, getting some work here tonight. Opponents hitting at .230 against him. Xander Bogaerts to lead it off here in the 9th inning. And a pop-up foul off to the right out of play. So Brian Shaw ended up going an inning as he pitched the 8th inning for the Indians. No hits, no runs, did walk a batter, did not strike anybody out. David Ortiz, then Hanley Ramirez to bat here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Red Sox trailing by 7. Center fielder Abraham Almonte is over in right center field. And well off the line and left is Jerry Sands on Xander Bogaerts.
We're seeing more and more teams play Bogaerts like that now. He's going to the opposite field so much.
One-two from Allen. Just missed outside. Not by a lot.
Pretty hard curveball right there at 85 miles an hour from Allen. Everything inside. Then he goes to the outside part of the plate and just missed.
Bogaerts to center field at Almonte, who has to leap. He came in and had to jump in the air to make the catch.
Now that ball was absolutely scorched by Bogaerts. I mean, that had no sink on it at all. As a matter of fact, it was rising when it got to Almonte in center field. And I think it stunned him that he had to jump to make that play. But again, shading him in that direction, they had him played right.
One down here in the 9th, and it brings up David Ortiz. 0 for 3. Shifting here in the infield are the Indians, and they are playing David DePaul in the outfield. Two and 0. 8-game hitting streak on the line here for David Ortiz with 1 out in the 9th. He has grounded out to first, flied out to left, and flied out to left again. Foul tip, 2-1.
Ortiz looking fastball on the 2-0 count. He did get a fastball, but not middle in. And that's generally the pitch that he looks for to try to drive out of the ballpark. That ball away from Ortiz on the 2-0 count.
In the dirt, 3-1. Hanley Ramirez waiting on deck with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. To center, and that's going to get in for a hit in front of Almonte. So David does extend the hitting streak.
Another rocket hit right here. There was one by Bogaerts that was caught by Almonte. This one drops in front of Almonte for the base hit. Line shot to center field. That one sinking instead of rising like the one that Bogaerts hit.
Tonight for David will be pinch run for by Josh Rutledge at first base. 1 out, 1 on for Hanley Ramirez, who is grounded out to third base, flied out to right, and double. Ball and a strike now to Hanley Ramirez. Two and one. Salazar started with the first 7 innings, giving up the only run the Red Sox have on the night. Saw Brian Shaw for the 8th. Now Allen trying to finish off the 9th inning. Giving up a 1-out base hit to Ortiz, being pinch run for here by Rutledge. There's Pablo Sandoval waiting on deck. Strike 2. This will get away back to the backstop, and Rutledge will take second base.
Well, Allen that time trying to snap off that hard curveball and snaps it right in the dirt. Gets by, and up a base goes Rutledge. Overthrowing the breaking ball right there, and nice attempt by Yan Gomes, but it gets by him.
Payoff pitch now to Ramirez. And a foul back and off to the right. He's trying to get to Cody Allen some work here, and he's had to work here in this inning so far. Did he go? They'll check. No, he did not, says Mike Muchlinski. So ball 4, and Hanley Ramirez down to first base with a walk. And the Red Sox have 2 on with 1 out. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, looking on here with 2 on, 1 away, and Pablo Sandoval coming up. Sandoval 0 for 3 tonight. Has grounded out to short. He has popped out to third and flied out to left. Strike 1. Now we're going to have a pinch runner for Hanley Ramirez at first base. Alejandro De Aza will pinch run at first. So that's a night for Hanley. More action for the Indians. Ryan Webb about to throw his first warm-up pitch out there in the pen. A little pop-up sending Lindor out, backpedaling to make the catch for out number 2 of the 9th. So 2 outs, and that'll bring up Travis Shaw. Shaw homered back in the 3rd inning, supplying the Red Sox with their only run of the night. Strikeout in the 5th, a strikeout in the 7th. All that was against the Indian starter, Danny Salazar. Strike 1. Salazar in line for his 11th win of the year. Came in at 10-6. Well, Barnes would be dealt the loss. Came in at 3-2. Oh, and 1 the count to Travis Shaw. This is to center field and in for a hit. From second base, Rutledge will score. On to third goes DeYaza. It's an RBI single for Travis Shaw, and it's now 8-2 Indians.
Travis Shaw with a 2-for-4 ninth. A home run coming back in the third inning on an off-speed pitch. Then came a couple of strikeouts for him, but now the base hit. That jammed a little bit on that, but still able to muscle the ball out in the center field for the base hit. Picks up an RBI. That's his 9th of the season. 8-2 ball game. First and third with 2 away, and Ryan Hannigan coming up. This will now be the 6th batter that Cody Allen has had to face. Hannigan has struck out, fly to center, and grounded out to second base. Taking second base is Travis Shaw on the defensive indifference. Fouled back, still now moves to 1-1. DeYaza at third base. Travis Shaw now at second base with 2 outs here in the 9th. Hannigan hits one on the ground towards third. Aviles races in, throws out Hannigan, and that is the ball game. Red Sox get a run in the 9th inning, but the Indians hold on to beat the Red Sox 8-2 in game 1 of this 3-game series. As the Red Sox got a run earlier in the game on a home run by Shaw and then an RBI single by Shaw. So he delivers both Red Sox runs, but the Indians win tonight 8-2 as we send it to Tom Caron.